was really nice. And of course, come here, come here, come here. Just gonna get my little friend up here. Good girl. So let's get moving. We'll start with some lower abdominal breathing. So just look down, make sure your feet are forward, your knees are tracking in the same direction as your toes. So that makes sure that we're in alignment. One hand on the lower abdomen and the other hand on top. And let's start with connecting to our breath. So the hands on the lower abdomen allow us to feel if we're breathing more in our chest, in our solar plexus, or our lower abdomen. So if we're breathing deeply, and deeply doesn't necessarily mean forceful, so we can breathe deeply, but in a relaxed way. So just allowing the breath to slowly come in through the nostrils, and the belly, right, starts to puff out as the diaphragm descends, the lungs expand. And then exhale as the belly pulls back in, gently allow the breath to come back out through the nose. And then inhale. And exhale. And see if you can imagine that as you're inhaling, the breath is filling up the entire torso. So inhaling, like the breath comes in, the lower abdominal organs are slightly displaced as the diaphragm descends down, but then you feel the breath continue to open up the rib cage. And then the very top of the inhale, right, the collarbone actually comes up slightly and back, so the chest is able to expand. And then as we exhale, the chest sinks back in, the ribs pull in, the belly pulls in. And the breath is that link between our conscious and subconscious, right? We know we can influence and direct our breath consciously with awareness, but it's also autonomic. We don't, if we weren't really concentrating on our breath, we would still be breathing. So it's a link because we're the autonomic sort of how we're breathing at root is a reflection of our emotional state. So we can start to influence what our baseline emotional state is through the breath by breathing slowly and deeply. So how we're breathing subconsciously and then bringing awareness and direction towards it so that we're starting to retrain the breath pattern so that we're, even in more stressful situations, we tend to breathe more shallowly and a lot of times through the mouth when we're more stressed, like, which has its purpose. Like if we really need to run away from the tiger, or if we're exercising and certain breath techniques, but in general, our healing mechanisms really turn online when the nervous system is calm, and breathing in through the nose slowly and out through the nose fully allows our cells to be fully oxygenated. And on our exhale, we're really able to let go. The carbon dioxide goes out fully or more fully. And that slow, deep breathing is a little switch to the nervous system that says we are safe and calm. We don't need to breathe quickly. And then let's go right into knocking on the door of life. Lower abdomen, lower back. It's very gently starting to awaken the energy at the base of the spine. And while we do these exercises, just do a little check-in. How am I breathing? Am I breathing more shallowly again? Or can I retain some of that slow, deep breathing in and out through the nose? And then let's come up just below the collarbone. Let's get those lung areas. Benefiting the, not just breathing, but our immune system. And then come all the way to the top of the shoulders. Releasing tension in the neck. This is the space where we hold a lot. Even driving, I was realizing that my shoulders were shrugged up. So, which I think a lot of us do involuntarily also. Come back down below the collarbone. So just practice also the awareness. Where are you in space? Are your shoulders contracted up? Can we release them down so there's more flow? And then back down to the waist. And then let's go into water waves. So nice and slow, we're just brushing the space, the air that's surrounding us. Like a little broom, just brooming away stress, anxiety, ruminating thoughts. And then start to slowly unwind. And then from here, we're going to go into a little spinal cord breathing with rotation. So let's start facing forward. Inhale and look up. And then exhale, curl. Keep your waist relatively stable. So we don't really want to be bending too far forward because the movement is really curling the upper spine, the thoracic spine forward. So we get a nice stretch from the base of the spine all the way up. And as we inhale, we're opening up the front of the spine. Inhale. And then if we tuck the tailbone down slightly, that will keep some integrity here through the waist so that we're able to curl the upper spine forward. Inhale. And then exhale. And now we'll inhale to the left. So we'll inhale and rotate. Arms still coming up by the head. And then as we exhale, come back to the center. So we'll inhale now over to the right. So a little twist, rotation of the spine, and then exhale back to the center. Inhale. And exhale. Just gently opening, unfurling, and then gently curling back towards the center. Just back and forth. And then let's come back to the center, drop the arms down. My little friend here, licking her paws. Okay, let's do a little cleansing and clearing now. So arms out to the sides. We're going to take a nice inhale and then exhale. This is a great one where we actually exhale out the mouth because it's more purgative. So inhaling through the nose and out through the nose is more kind of drawing in and retaining and amplifying. And when we breathe out the mouth intentionally, it's a way of letting go of stress, letting go of tension. So inhale to the center, and then we'll drop the arms and turn over to the right. So one arm comes in front, one arm in back, and then inhale to the center. Turn to the left, and then back to the center. So you're moving the arms in opposite directions, which helps give a little bit of that squeezy rotation between the shoulder blades. And then if you pick up a little bit of momentum by bouncing the knees, we'll get a little bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. So at your pace. And then maybe imagine as we exhale through the mouth that we're just letting go of whatever has been sticky, not feeling so great, whether that's some emotions or pain, stress, maybe even something that happened earlier this morning. We're letting go and bringing our awareness back to this moment. It's releasing any tension between the shoulder blades. This is a nice, gentle stretch and squeeze of all the musculature, the traps, the rhomboids. And then we'll start to slow down. So we're starting to gently peel away some of the stuff that is kind of bringing us down. So let's go into a wider stance now. And then we're going to turn your right foot so it's facing the right side of the room. Your back leg, you don't really want to lock the knee, but the back leg should be a little bit straighter. So you're going to bend the front knee and see how my knees aren't going past my toes. You kind of want to make almost a right angle if that feels good. And so you're pressing your back foot, the back side of your back foot down. And then you're going to come into a side lunge here. So placing the elbow or the arm, or your hand, excuse me, on your thigh. If you want to make it a little bit more narrow, that's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to stay in this side lunge, whatever position feels good for you. And then drop your left arm down and shake it out. Like let it be nice and loosey-goosey. This is going to be a very gentle and nice opening for the shoulder. Okay, so just let the front arm be nice and loose. And what we're going to do is very gently, we're just going to inhale it over to the right and then reach up towards the sky and then towards the back of the room and then down, or the side of the room, I should say. So we're making big, gentle circles. So make sure you're not scrunching your shoulders up. We're just going to gently inhale. And as we reach up towards the sky, notice that I'm turning my chest slightly forward. So you're getting a little bit of rotation. So almost like you can watch your hand, right, as you're bringing it back and down. Nice and easy. These really lovely circles to help improve the circulation through your shoulders. It's a gentle stretch. Just inhaling all the way up and then back down. Inhale, up and down. Inhale, up. Nice circulation through the whole capsule, shoulder capsule. Inhale. You should also get a little bit more of some heat, maybe a little burning through your right quad. So it's also a sneaky leg strengthening exercise. Now this time, the next time your arm is all the way up, imagine someone's pulling your arm. You can come all gently, slowly, all the way up to the center. Isn't that great? So now just pause, maybe close your eyes. Just see how your right shoulder versus your left shoulder is feeling. You might feel some spaciousness through the left shoulder already compared to the right. And then let's do a very gentle hamstring stretch. So let's keep our legs wide. Now you're just going to turn both feet so you're facing the right side of the room. So now we're all facing the side. And now keep just like a gentle bend in your knees. You're going to take your hands on the top of your right thigh, and you're just going to work it down towards the knee. So what you want to feel is a little stretch in the hamstring of your right leg, and only go down as far as you feel a gentle stretch. You don't want to go too far, meaning you don't want any pain or any strain. So if you don't feel much of a stretch, then maybe start working your hands down just a little bit more, just until you start feeling an opening through the back of that front leg. And just breathe. If you have a chair or a wall or something that you also want to hold just to keep you grounded and steady, that's totally fine. But breathe. And as you exhale, imagine that you're releasing tension in the back of that leg. Just for a few rounds of breath here, gently opening. And let's come to the center and roll up. And now I'm going to widen my stance again. So if you came to a more narrow stance to do that hamstring stretch, reposition your legs because we have to do the lunge to the opposite side. So let's turn the left toes. So we're facing the left side of the room now. You're going to press down through that back foot, bend the front knee. So your back leg, again, maybe a gentle bend in your knee, but you want to collapse your knee in. So keep some strength through that back leg. And then either hand on your front thigh or elbow. So in your sort of a side lunge here, a side angle, let your right shoulder and arm hang down. Maybe shake it out so you release tension. And then we're going to start inhaling the arm towards the side of the room and then reaching up towards the ceiling. And as you do, opening up the front of the chest so you're rotating slightly. Hand comes towards the back and then down. So gently windmilling your arm up and down. Inhale and exhale. If you've been shoveling a lot, this might feel really nice. We've had a lot of snow. We did a lot of shoveling in Jersey City, at least. And this feels really good. And again, that front leg, that quad should start to feel a little bit fiery. And then next time the arm is facing or up towards the ceiling, again, imagine someone's pulling your arm up and you gently come upright. And now we'll turn both feet. So we're facing the left side of the room now. Very slight micro bend in the knees. Take your hands and start at the top of your front thigh and just walk down towards the knee. Your back should be relatively flat so that you start feeling a little bit of a stretch in the hamstring. Again, you might need to go a little further down if you're really flexible to get a little bit more of that stretch. And then just breathe when you find your max. Your max should be like no pain. You get to the point where you're feeling a gentle stretch, but you don't want to overdo it. So if it feels like it's too much, then back off maybe 10%. And breathe. You also want to be careful if your hands are on your leg above the knee or below the knee. You don't really want to be pressing into the knee capsule itself. It can put a lot of pressure on the knee. So either above or below. Nice. Gentle opening of the bladder channel, which runs down the back side of the legs. And then we'll come to the center. Come upright. And let's come back to our neutral position. So legs, you can shake them out. So side lunges are really great because you're opening the hips, you're strengthening the legs, and then we add this like gentle mobility through the shoulders. And let's do a little gentle stretch for the head, neck, and shoulders. So palms together on the lower back, so the fingers are facing down, or you can grab opposite elbows. And then we'll do some nice, very easy, gentle neck rolls. So let your head just drop over to your left shoulder. And this should be really easy. So you don't want to press your head over. Gravity helps in this position. So just let your head tilt over. Gravity will produce naturally a gentle stretch through the right side of your neck. And we'll stay here for a moment. Just breathe, feeling the gentle opening through the neck and the top of the shoulder. And then we'll slowly exhale the head forward. So chin down towards your chest. Slowly allowing your head to tilt over now to the right. And then just pick your head upright. So we don't really want to throw the head back. It's a lot of pressure on the cervical spine. So we'll just let the ear reach towards the shoulder, come forward, ear towards the shoulder, and then back up. And the breathing here, I like as we inhale up, and then exhale as the chin rolls towards the chest and over to the opposite side. Nice and slow. And then we'll go in the opposite direction. And then on the next inhale, let's just bring our head upright. Let the arms drop down. Let's do a check-in here. Oh my goodness, it's already 9:40. So let's do some shaking and then we'll go into our flows. So let's start bouncing the knees. Start shaking out those wrists. We've had a lot of people coming in with wrist pain this week to the clinic. Maybe it's from shoveling. Maybe it's because we're on our devices, maybe even a little more in the winter because there's a lot of snow and bad weather, maybe being indoors more, a little more stagnant. So let's just have this playful opportunity to shake everything out, shake the cobwebs off. I forget. Oh, no, it's the other Cynthia H. I don't think she's on. Oh, you are on, Cynthia H. So on Monday in our, Wednesday in our in clinic class, Cynthia had mentioned that she was watching the Olympics, and I believe it was the ski team. I don't know which downhill, slalom, freestyle, but she said that they do QiGong before their events, which is pretty amazing. So I know we talk about how athletes will naturally do some things to shake off nervous energy before they go into a performance. And so it just makes sense now that they're actually doing it with intention now and some guidance, which is pretty amazing. And then we'll start to slow down. Yeah, Qigong is starting to make its way around and is becoming much more known, which is pretty amazing. And we've been doing it for so long. Now we can help others, right? If they have questions. So on that note, we're going to go through some flows that have more to do with the lung system and the spleen system. There's still a lot of like viruses going around and people are getting sick. So we're going to just kind of work on our immune system functioning. So let's start with Buddha holding up the earth. Okay, this is one of the flows for the lung and large intestine channels and organs. So we're going to slowly inhale. The palms come up. They spin towards your lungs. So send some energy towards your lungs here. And then they spiral outward and up. And as we have the hands facing up, stretch especially the space, the webbing between the thumb and the index finger, because those are where the long and large intestine channels begin and end. And then we'll exhale, the hands spiral back down, in towards your lungs, and then down to the earth. And again, inhale, filling up with all that fresh chi, stretching the lines, and then exhale, letting go. Gentle inhale as we rise, stretching, and then exhale. And let's play with stretching the breath, meaning as we inhale slowly through the nose, continue to inhale, and just at the top of the inhale, can you draw in any more breath before we exhale? And as we exhale, imagine we're a full exhalation, and at the very bottom, can you let go of any more air? And then inhale. And exhale. It's riding the wave of your breath. So you should be focused on your own breath and the movement guided by the cadence of your breath. So if you breathe a little bit quicker than I do or slower, then your movement should match your breath. We're all doing the same thing, so you don't necessarily, if I'm going, my breathing's a little faster, then just pay attention to the rhythm of your own breath. Because the movement happens naturally. Because we inhale, we inflate, the arms naturally want to rise. There's an effortlessness when we're engaged and connected to our breath in that way. And same thing with the exhale. As we exhale, everything wants to sort of float back down and contract inward. And as we move slowly, right, we're able to absorb and gather energy and chi from the environment more readily. It's sort of like, if you have a little tiny container and you need to put some water in it, if you put it underneath a faucet and you turn the faucet on really at a high volume, that water's just going to go bounce right in and come right back out and create a big mess everywhere, right? But if we turn the water on very slowly, it fills up that container and the water's contained more easily. So same thing, imagine that we're just pouring that energy in, and the more slow that we go, the more that energy can come in and be retained. And at the top of the next inhale, let's leave the left hand facing the sky and the right hand face the earth. So we're connecting now to this energy below, call it gravity, yin, more yin dense energy below, and then the energy above, this universal energy, the stars, the ether. So we're constantly absorbing energy from both, integrating, and that becomes, part of our physiology. So now we're just amplifying that, becoming receptive. And then turn the palms so they're facing each other now. And on your next exhale, let your top hand slowly fall down towards the bottom until we're holding a chi ball. And now we'll turn the chi ball 3 times. And as we do, the opposite hand will come on top. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we'll inhale, the right arm should be on top now. We'll inhale, it floats all the way up, and then we turn the palms away from one another. Again, facing the universe, facing the earth. As we inhale, just imagine that you're soaking in a stream of energy from the universe and earth through the palms. It travels down and up the arms, right into our core. And then turn so the palms face one another, and then on the next exhale, top hand floats back down. And then we'll turn that chi ball again 3 times. And then inhale. Connect above and below. Inhale. Palms face one another, and then exhale, the top hand descends. Nice and slowly. Drawing everything into this chi ball, and then we'll turn 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And then next exhale, drop the top hand. 3 times. Think about mixing and mingling, like you're making a big pot of something. Right? We have our ingredients. We're procuring our ingredients here, pulling in the energy that we want from above and below. And then we start to marry those two together to integrate, and then we churn. 1, 2, 3, and again. And as the hand drops down now, let's turn so the palms are facing each other on side to side, right to left. Just feel our chi ball now, right in front of the center. And now let's focus on the earth energy. So this is single-armed pebble in the pond. So you're going to turn slightly to your right. And as you do, let your left arm float out at a diagonal. And then turn your body so you're coming to the center and then over to the left. And as you do, that arm kind of comes along with you, and then inhale back to the center. So the movement comes by rotating now over to the left, and the right arm floats out. So you're making a little circle, but the circle comes from you moving your body rather than your arm. So I'll show you. If I'm doing just my arm, right, that's a lot different than turning and allowing the arm to be an extension of your body, turning your body, making a big circle, and then inhaling back to the center. So we turn and float the arm out, rotate the body over to the right, and then inhale the arm back to the center. So float, gentle circle, inhaling back in. And as the palm floats out, we're Just holding that connection from the palm to the earth below. We're able to draw in, almost like you're raking the earth. Right? And then you're drawing in nutrients, healing energy from the earth around you right into the center, to your earth center, right in the center of the body, the middle jiao. Just feel the effortlessness, right, as we move in sync with our breath. We move slowly. We feel our body as we rotate, recenter, rotate. So we're basically making spirals with our body, with our hands. In the breath here, we exhale the hand out and around, and then we inhale it back to the center. And exhale. And inhale. And in the next inhale, let's come back to our chi ball. Let's pulse the hands back and forth. And let's drop the arms down. And let's finish off with pulling down the skies from the 6 directions. So this is where we inhale halfway. So hands come up to the sides to about shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower. And then we'll rotate the body over to the left. And then we continue to inhale all the way up so the fingers come towards one another, come back to the center, and then exhale down. Nice and easefully. We float the arms up in the inhale. Slowly turn on the exhale over to the right. Inhale, coming all the way up, like we're a little ballerina. And then we come back to the center and then exhale. So connecting to the space to the right and left of us, and then we turn over to the left, connecting to the space in front of us and behind us. Inhaling, connecting to the space above us, and then exhale, connecting to the space below us. Inhale, right, left, exhale, forwards and backwards. Inhale above, coming back to the center, and exhale below. And now just allow your hands to fall back down to our chi ball. Let's bring the feet together, and then one hand on the lower abdomen and the other hand on top. And let's finish off by standing in a posture of resilience and feeling rooted. or just bamboo in the wind. So feeling the roots of your legs reaching down. Imagine they're connecting to the space through the earth, through the surface of the earth. That strong foundation, and then the resilience, the flexibility of our bodies as they make micro adjustments. With ease. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open.